What's up, everybody? Old School NYC Gamer back once again here with another gameplay video. Thanks to my Xbox, we're going to check out a classic game here, but with a twist. So let's get right into it. We're going to go into the Xbox Arcade, and of course we're going to go down to the good old Nintendo 64, as you see right there. And the game I'm going to be playing is one that I've seen a little bit of gameplay of here and there on the Nintendo 64, and I wanted to give my take on it, and that is going to be Robotron 64. Now, the game itself was released back in, I believe, January of 1998, and Crave published and developed the game. So it's definitely a different take from what I've seen on a couple other YouTubers' videos. I want to give my take on it, you know, first impressions kind of a thing, and let's see how we go with that. Alright, so I'm just going to start it up here using the Project 64 emulator for the Xbox. And it's now going to load the ROM. Got to give it a minute to set up and load the game. And of course you can see right there, and I can barely see through some of the red and blue here, people. I barely can even read that. So this is one things I did notice on some of the other gameplay videos. Some of that lettering, it just sucks. Now, of course, this is the intro to Robotron 64. And I do highlight they took Eugene Jarvis's vision and kind of made it a little different, showing that even retro gaming in 1998, you know, has some significance, especially with this game. So we're going to start it up. Of course, you got your options. You got your 1-player, 2-player. You can load a game you has saved. We'll just go into the setup, and of course, I have it on normal. I'm just trying to find the audio settings here because I necessarily don't really need the volume on this. Alright, so we're just going to get rid of that. See if we can go back. Oh, and there we go, people. So let's listen to it in all its glory. Let's check out Robotron 64. And of course, you can see here it has more of a polygonic take on Robotron 2084. You can, of course, change the view. You can do this for be a little closer, which I don't really find that good. So I'd rather stick with the top-down version, but even though that moves a little more better. One of the things I did notice by doing a little bit of practice on this game is that you can shoot your 4 directions, but you can't shoot 8-way. Now that could be because due to the Xbox controller I'm using, it's not emulating it that perfect. Now, and speaking of emulation, and down here, this is more of like the ground, from the ground look, if you want to kind of just do that.
Thank you.
But we're going to stick to the far back mode here. One of the pet peeves I did want to mention, with this controller, you cannot go diagonally. You can go up, down, left, right, but that's one of the problems with the emulation on this. Now, of course, this game has been ported over to tons and tons of freaking, of the earlier systems, on the Atari 8-bit computers, Commodore 64, and of course, it's been on a ton of arcade compilations for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, I believe the Dreamcast, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, honestly, if you want to know the list of all the games, systems it was listed for, please feel free to Google that, because that is quite a bit of what I'm mentioning here. So we're just going to go through a couple more minutes of gameplay here, people, just to kind of give you an idea of what this game is like. Now, of course, playing this on the Nintendo 64, I know you can shoot all 8 directions. From seeing a fellow YouTuber do the same thing here. Of course, certain robots you shoot, they can deflect off. Now, I can't necessarily, don't even know what the point system is, to be quite honest with you, because on the upper left hand of the screen is your score, but you're mostly just looking to see what you're doing. And of course, your mission, as always, is to save the humanoids. I mean, it's a very simple game, people, even for the Nintendo 64. Not a bad game. They could have honestly improved the color scheme a little better. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. It's not the greatest game that was ported over when it comes to classic console games. But I think Crave could have did a little bit of a better of a job on the color scheme. But that's just my, my take on it. So I believe we're just going to end it on this level, everybody. It's the premise, of course, it'll get a little harder each level. Whereas on the original Robotron 2084, by the third wave, the first 2 levels were easy. But after that, if you got past the third wave in Robotron 2084 in the arcades, I salute you, because I could barely get past that. And that's about it, people. So like I said, this is Robotron 64 for the Nintendo 64. Feel free to give this game a try if you can find it on the cheap at a flea market or your local game store. I would say for nostalgia reasons, I would pick it up. But if you're more of a collector, that's really up to you. But if you're not really into the game, I really would just let it pass. And that's about it, people. So like I said before, feel free to leave a comment, drop a PM. Hit me up on Facebook and Twitter if you want to discuss more gaming stuff. And that's about it. Take care, everyone, and have a good one. Cheers.